What's up, people? It is the show's 2025 MMA Awards, and we're close to New Year, so of course I had to bring the glasses from Carnival Cruise Line, the Walmart of the seas. And folks, we got to talk about the negative stuff first, okay? I'm going to get it out of the way right off the bat. Let's go fraud check of the year. I got to give it out to the prestigious award to, can we get up on stage, please? Mauricio Rufy versus Benoit Saint Denis. Mauricio Rufy, everybody. Who would have thought? Some of you, maybe. I don't know. You tell me. Tell me in the comments. Who would have thought that Mauricio Rufy's ground game was so bad that Benoit Saint Denis would smash him on the ground? I mean, it's not my upset of the year. I got a different one with that. But just like exclusively fraud check of the year, you got to give that award to Mauricio Rufy, okay? I don't know if he'll come up and accept it, but I mean, fighting nerds overall. Like if we had a team that got fraud checked in 2025, clearly it's the fighting nerds, okay? You know, oh yeah, we study all this data. Here's some data for you to study wrestling, okay? That'd be some great data to get up on there, fighting nerds. Because the striking looks nice, the jiu-jitsu's decent, you know? You got Gene Silva got a submission over Bryce Mitchell. That's up there for sub of the year. That's pretty cool. But the wrestling, not good. So let's start it off with just Benoit Saint Denis smashing Mauricio Rufy. You know, that wasn't great because you know who I gave knockout of the year to? I'm going knockout of the year to Mauricio Rufy. I think that wheel kick against Bobby Green was a thing of beauty. This guy sets Bobby Green up, backs him up to the fence, gets him standing up straight where that head is up on the top of a pole. I mean, you could just swing anything wide. Should it be a hook? Should it be a wheel kick? Yes. The wheel kick was a choice shot for where he put Bobby King Green, and it was a wicked KO. It was a one-kick KO. Stiff on the mat. It has to top the other ones. You know, I know most people are picking Lerone Murphy with the spinning back elbow against my boy Aaron Pico, which was messed up to watch. But Aaron Pico has been knocked out pretty bad in Bellator. You know, he's got this style where he's like 10 out of 10 offense and something less than that on defense. And it's exactly what he did here. He came out there, did some body work, you know, took Rufy. Jesus, I'm still on Rufy. Took Lerone Murphy down. Doesn't tie up the legs. Lerone Murphy stands up, gets off the fence, spinning back elbow to the face. Yikes. It was a nasty KO. So we'll give the flowers, okay, to the wicked KO that Mauricio Rufy had, but there were a lot of good KOs. I mean, I liked Mma versus Adesanya personally, although it wasn't that like stiff out KO you're kind of looking for knockout of the year. Massive moment for Mma, really put him on, and you know, big L for Izzy there. So that was a massive one. There have been some good KO. I mean, every year, right? KO of the year is always, unless it's like the Jorge Masvidal, Ben Askren KO of the year. You got Ilia Topuria putting out Charles Oliveira with a nasty shot and early, just like he said he was going to do, you know. So there are some wicked KOs for KO of the year for sure. Make no mistake, there have been some good Killian Salkild's head kick over Nasrat Haqparast. I mean, how many examples we got to go into? So those are two for you. All right, fraud check. Give me Rufy getting fraud checked by Benoit Saint Denis. Knockout of the year. We got to go with Rufy though. Biggest disappointment. Isn't this one obvious? I hope this one's obvious to all of you. No, it's not that Hamzat laid on top of Dricus du Plessis. Come on. No, that was, you know, he won the belt. That was great. Wasn't Islam Makhachev pinning down Jack Della Maddalena? No. It was obviously the eye poke. Cyril Gane and Tom Aspinall not really happening. Cyril Gane off to a hot start, by the way. Very hot start. But not a whole lot happening in that fight. not a whole lot happening. And then this nasty eye poke. Tom had to have surgery. Has to have surgery again. This is crazy, So biggest disappointment, clearly the lack of the heavyweight title defense. Fighter of the year. Should probably let off with this one, but we mix it up around here. Fighter of the year. Is it Joshua Van, who's on a 4-fight streak, who won the title on some bullshit? No. Is it Petr Yan? It definitely could be. There is a solid argument for Petr Yan due to the activity, due to the performance against Merab. Petr Yan's up there. I get it if you went Petr Yan. I'm going with Islam Makhachev. Islam Makhachev went up there and dominated JDM over 5 rounds. And that's the 155 champ defending his belt. He tried to do it against Arman Tsarukyan. That really would have solidified it if he would have done that to Arman Tsarukyan. That really would have solidified it. But I think he did enough. He absolutely mollywopped Renato Moicano. Moicano wants money. He got money, but he also got his ass beat. So I'll got to go Islam Makhachev. I think those two performances were pretty sick. Not a ton of activity, Merab's fighting 4 times. ESPN puts Merab as fighter of the year. Huh? Merab? He lost. Merab lost his title. Merab's not even the bantamweight of the year. You've got him as fighter of the year over Petr Yan, who beat him up? Are you guys out of your minds? That is crazy. Great performances, right? Great performances. Choking out Sean O'Malley, putting the beat down against Umar Nurmagomedov. These are unbelievable performances. Merab had some solid performances in 2025. He's in the conversation. But off of a loss, you're going to put him over Islam Makhachev, who was the first lightweight to move up and win the welterweight title ever. And he did it in clean sweep, dominant 50-45 fashion. Was it 50-44? Come on, guys. What are we doing here? Clearly Islam Makhachev. Fuck out of here. You're going to say Merab was the fighter of the year after he lost. Get off Merab's nuts. Fight of the year. Adrian Marinetti versus Mark Vologden. Huh? Who? Check it out. It's on YouTube. Dana White's Contender Series. Go check it out. Full fight's on YouTube. Wicked fight. Unbelievable fight. Back and forth action. Toe-to-toe. That's what you want to see. I know you liked Khalil Roundtree versus Yuri Prohaska. Okay? It was up there. I know you liked Joshua Van versus Brandon Royval. It was up there. But, and Sadikov and Moto was sick too. Nazim Sadikov is a beast. He would be up there. Moto be teeing off on him. He'd cover. Stay rolling with the shots. Come back. Boom, boom, boom. Moto would have to take some time off because he was tired. That was a crazy fight. And that fight finished. But I'll go Marinetti and Vologden. That was insane. That was just an insane war. Back and forth war. Come on. That was wicked. Some solid fights. I would say that fights in 2025 are better than any other year. Like, I watch throwback fights sometimes, Big Chuck Liddell fan. I'll just put on the old ones. And I'll watch the events, When I was young, I'm still young, ladies and gentlemen, but I had DVDs just burned of all of the old UFC events. And I would every day. I worked at Knockout MMA in Gurney Mills Mall in Gurney, Illinois when I was 18 or something like that, 17. And I would just pop in all day, watching fights all day, Pride, UFC. And so I'm very familiar, with the pacing of the fighting and just the entertainment value. They're so much better now, guys. The game is just so evolved. The striking is so much more dynamic. The wrestling is higher level. The cardio of the fighters, their abilities, just the toolkits, the pace of the fight. It's very high paced, especially in the lighter divisions. It's very cool. So 2025, the average fight was a great fight. Performance of the year. One stands out above all the others. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking Piotr Jan getting the win over Merab, who somehow some of you goons think is fighter of the year. You know I love you guys. I'm just fucking around. But that's a dumb choice. I gotta go with Poatan making Ankalaev quit. And this is why. Okay? End of that fight with Merab and Piotr Jan. Merab's still Merab. He's fired up, right? He's still got the credit. ESPN's still calling him fighter of the year. Guess who ESPN's not calling fighter of the year? Magomed Ankalaev. Magomed Ankalaev walked into that cage, the light heavyweight champion of the world. Okay? By the end of that fight, he was in the fetal position, sucking his thumb. Zoom in. Okay? He went back to where's mommy at the end of that fight. He stepped into the cage with Poatan. Poatan put some pressure on him. He started crumbling. Look at him. His eyes get real big. Looks like he's on ayahuasca. Like, oh, shit. He saw the demons. He saw the dark spirits. Poatan walks him down. Hey, yeah, yeah, hey, yeah, yeah, hey, yeah, yeah, hey. Boom. Hits him with the arrow. Drops him with the overhand right. Starts dropping elbows down. Yeah, he's got a rib injury. Yeah, I'm sure he does. From the 12-6 elbows that Poatan is hammering him with. Wicked performance by Poatan. Made the world champ get in the fetal position in under 2 minutes. Performance of the year. Performance of the year. Poatan was already a legend, right? Bruce Buffer always, he's one of the only guys he does the one, the only. Who's he done that for? McGregor and Poatan? He was already there. He was already the one, the only. Then he put that performance on. Respect it. Respect it. I know you do. I know you do. It is such a brand for Poatan. You know, he is the destroyer of men, and he did it again. So, wicked performance by Poatan. We'll go on performance of the year. Submission of the year. Walter Walker ripping everyone's feet off. Walter Walker has made a brand out of leg locks. He's standing there at weigh-ins with a bloody foot around a chain, okay? This guy is ripping the feet off of the heavyweights in the UFC. And they deserve it, to be fair. They deserve it. They deserve it. They suck at jiu-jitsu. Okay? I've been doing jiu-jitsu since I was a little kid. Competed at ADCC last year. Okay? Know a thing or two about the Jew of the jitsu. And the current UFC heavyweight division shouldn't be teaching a youth class. I mean, there are so many bad grapplers up there in that UFC heavyweight division. You go down to the lighter divisions, it is super impressive. I mean, the level is just incredible. 125, 130. I mean, Tatsuro Taira at 125. Oh my goodness. The level's insane. This kid is so good. Heavyweight? Yeah, they deserve to get their legs ripped off by Walter Walker. I mean, he is just hacking them. So good on him. There was the neck crank, the modified twister, Scottish twister in PFL. You could put that up there. Charles Oliveira submitting Mateusz Gamrot was sick. Gene Silva submitting Bryce Mitchell, putting him out, because Bryce Mitchell, known to be a submission grappler, another Eddie Bravo guy getting beat up in the UFC. But that was wicked. And it's no hate to Eddie Bravo, by the way. Eddie Bravo's an OG. I used to be a 10thplanetjj.com subscriber. Holla. But they're not doing so hot in the UFC. There were good submissions this year. You could go on, but you get me. Maybe even Paddy Pimblett's triangle armbar over Bobby Green. Although, again, Bobby Green, not sure I'm taking his kid's class either. You know what I'm saying? You guys get it. Upset of the year. Rainier DeRitter beating the brakes off of Bo Nickel. Bo Nickel, hype train derailed. You know, you could almost throw that in with the fraud checks. Okay. But upset of the year, I'm going Rainier DeRitter over Bo Nickel. It was 4-1 when I saw it. You know, I heard 3-1 last, but whatever. 3-1, 4-1. It was a sizable upset. A lot of people on the Bo Nickel train. Bo Nickel, big time on the Bo Nickel train. You know, that is a confident man. And he should be. You know, he's pretty good. But got beat up in that fight. Got beat up, got out grappled, outstruck, put a kneecap through his stomach, put him into the fetal position. Again, you get in the fetal position in a fight, you get major points. Okay. It's a big deal. You make a grown man just cover up. I've had enough. You know, that's a big deal. Rainier DeRitter beat the shit out of Bo Nickel. He deserves upset of the year for that one. Goes on to beat Robert Whitaker. All impressive stuff. Prospect of the year. Apparently, I can't count Tatsuro Taira, who's like a contender now. I can't count Alex Hernandez, who's a contender. I can't even count Walter Walker because what, he's number 14? Jesus. So I guess I got to go Ata Bagatier. I don't even like that, though. I don't even like that. What am I going to do? Nasrat Hakparast? No. Killian Sal killed. But no, I gotta, I guess, pick Ata Bagatier. I don't like that because they're feeding Ata Bagatier, you know, nobodies. He could have fought Grant Neal. A lot of y'all don't know this, but now you know. Grant Neal got a contract, as far as I'm aware, to fight in the UFC against Ata Bagatier on short notice. He accepted this fight. As far as I know, he signed that contract, sent it back. But they didn't employ him for it. They got some freaking welterweight who was terrified to go in there and get executed by Ata Bagatier to keep padding the record and putting some highlights out there for him. You know? So prospects, I don't know. I like a lot of prospects who are apparently a little too high in the game. Now I know, all right? I can't be counting people like Tatsuro Taira as prospects. For me, if you haven't fought for the title yet, you're still a prospect to me. I'll update the definition, folks. Those are my favorites. I mean, major thing that happened this year, no more pay-per-views. You know, the pay-per-views ending are just crazy. So coming into 2026, the biggest difference is clearly going to be that we don't have to pay an arm and a leg. No pun intended. Walter Walker, those are my legs. To be able to watch title fights. You know, now I'll be able to watch big fights damn near for free on Paramount Plus. It's a big deal. And so I hope it's going to be fantastic. You know, somebody commented, in Canada, we still have to do pay-per-view. Really? Really? Look, I'm not an illegal stream guy. I like to buy the pay-per-views. I like to get a good quality product. Okay. Won't see me on crack streams or whatever. People keep saying Stream East, Finch. I was not a Stream Easter. I don't know. But I'm surprised to hear that Canada is going to be paying pay-per-views. Really? You guys can't get Paramount Plus somehow? Figure it out. Okay? You got to talk to that new prime minister of yours. Get that shit figured out. Mark Carney. Figure it out, Carney. They want UFC fights and they don't want to pay pay-per-views. If in America we're not paying pay-per-views, how are you guys doing it? Okay? That's crazy work. Why are we doing Canada so dirty recently? What's going on here? Got to show Canada some love. Right, chat? Are you guys going to behave yourselves on New Year's? Who else gained weight like me? I'm 201 pounds right now. This is insane. 201. This is insane. I haven't been 201 in a long time. When I competed at ADCC last year, I was 169. 169. I'm 201. Damn. I ate Mike Finch. That's crazy work. What's up, everybody? Can't fucking read this chat with these glasses on, but Happy New Year, bitches. Smash. Always. Gara. Always. Kara MMA fangirl. Always Kara. What's up, buddy? This has been a long-ass couple weeks. I know. I'm sorry. I've been on the beach. Been hanging out with my father-in-law, Don. Been eating a lot of food. A lot of food. It was like another Thanksgiving. We did turkey. Been eating pumpkin pie, cookies, ice cream. Just misbehaving on the diet really badly. So nothing too crazy. My wife is 33 weeks pregnant, so, just holding it down over here, guys. Sal kill, biggest disappointment is Rainier DeRitter. Damn, really? Nah, that eye poke, dude. Bo fraud check was most hilarious. Damn, I know you guys hate on Bo, huh? I don't hate Bo like that. I don't know. You guys like to dunk on Bo hard. Nah. Rainier DeRitter quitting was the worst bullshit to watch. Bro, he was like sick. I don't know what that was. Yeah, that was bad. His body was like shutting down. When you're watching somebody fight that exhausted, it's almost like the Andrew Tate fight. When somebody's out there exhausted, I'm like, man, I'd rather see them at full gas. Like, let's call this, So that was tough to watch, especially since he was showing that he had some, he could take down Brandon Allen. He could get his back. He was showing his skill, but he just gassed hard. He fought 4 times in the year. Rainier DeRitter fought 4 times in the year, lost the 4th one, gassed hard. Merab fought 4 times in the year, lost the last one. Really started to fade a little bit, and we haven't seen Merab do that. I think the elbows to the forearm were massive. Underrated story right there. Those elbows to the forearm, stealing it. Consider it stolen, Piotr Jan. That was fantastic. Merab defended it 4 times in a year, though. That's probably why. I know, but you can't be losing and be the fighter of the year. Does anybody have a problem with that? We really have to give fighter of the year to somebody who lost when we have Islam Makhachev, maybe the best MMA fighter ever, wins the welterweight title. He literally defended the lightweight title, moved up and won the welterweight title. Instead of him, you're going to give it to somebody coming off a loss. What are we talking about? Did you see Walter Walker is doing a grappling match with dude who has no legs? Stop. That's fake, dude. $1 from the Waits Experience. I'm giving that a heart. I appreciate you, Waits. I will wait for you. Thank you, Waits. Appreciate it very much. That's awesome. The Finch no-gi choke was a good one. The Finch. Is that what you named it? I like it. Send it to me. Mike Finch MMA on Instagram. Send it. Boom. Shoujo, I think the Jan finishes O'Malley this time. Woo! I like that fight. I like that fight a lot. Damn. It's a different type of matchup because Sugar Sean can outbox him at range, move side to side. The forward pressure and the takedown threat isn't the same. I know we saw Piotr Jan get more takedowns against Merab, but it's a different matchup. So, interesting one. I don't know that I'm locked in on Jan on that one. That's interesting. Yeah, Marcus Almeida looked like shit for being a black belt in jiu-jitsu against Kennedy. You realize he's not just a black belt in jiu-jitsu, Shoujo, right? You realize like this was the hero of jiu-jitsu. Like the way I'm talking about Islam Makhachev or the way we talk about Ilia Topuria, this was like the Ilia Topuria of jiu-jitsu in the heavyweight division. He beat world champions, Marcus Buchecha Almeida has a record that I don't want to get wrong, but has a record against the best jiu-jitsu artists in the world, beating them all, dominating, a champion of many organizations, a physical freak. Somewhere along the way, he lost the sauce. Somewhere along the way, he wasn't this like freak athlete anymore. Couldn't just smash people. It was before the Gordon Ryan match because I already knew he was kind of falling off. And then that Gordon Ryan match, you saw when Gordon swept him, and it was like a really famous sweep that he hit him with that shoulder crunch sweep with the butterfly on the far side. Was it the near side or the far side? That's fantastic. I stole that, by the way. I love that. I do the butterfly on either side. Because you go to the Choi bar. Y'all know about the Choi bar? It's fantastic. So Marcus Buchecha Almeida, his prime was like 6 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago. And now in MMA, I'm seeing it again. He's not as explosive anymore, etc. Did he look more jacked against Kennedy and Zechiku? Yes. Suspiciously jacked against Kennedy and Zechiku. Okay. You look at the Martin Boudet fight where he was like a 2-1, 3-1 favorite, and I slammed the Martin Boudet line and I gave it out on Premium Channel. Shout out to Premium Channel. Direct message at Mike Finch Show on Instagram if you guys want to join us in Premium Channel on Telegram. It's where I give out all my favorite bets. Yeah, he He clearly found the weight room. Again, we'll see if that pays dividends. Still going long with Kennedy and Zetchiku in a close one. Feed Gautier, Rainier, DeRitter. What? Feed him, bro. Gautier might be losing to Rainier, DeRitter, bro. Chill. Yeah, I don't even like using Gautier as prospect of the year. Fuck that. I rescind it. I call it back. I want Tatsuro Taira. I know he's ranked. I'm not playing by your prospect rules, okay? He's never gotten a title shot, and he's a 20-something-year-old kid. Prospect to me. It's my prospect. 220 here, most I've ever weighed. King of the North, it's time for us to lock it down. We're locking it down, okay? I got the dad bod before the kid. Now I'm going to lock it down. You're going to see these cheeks just shrink, okay? Wait till you see me next summer, all right? I'm feeling New Year's resolutions, and I'm doing it. I'm going back to 185 at least. King of the North, I hope you join me. $59.99 to watch UFC for the whole 2026 is a hell of a deal. Shoujo, I'm with it. I'm with it. Heartbreak of the Year award for me, I give to Gene Silva. I was so confident he was going to knock Diego out. Yeah. I mean, Diego beat him up. Diego beat him up. That was very impressive, especially on the ground. I mean, it really showed how bankrupt the defense is, for Silva. Gene Silva, very ferocious offensively, kind of a similar story to Aaron Pico, where these guys going forward, they're a lion. Going backwards, they're house cats, and it's not a mental thing for either of them. Aaron Pico is one of the toughest SOBs you'll ever meet. It's just that when you start getting the ball rolling downhill on them, there are weaknesses there. For Pico, he runs head first into stuff, so you can blast him with a big shot and put him out. For Gene Silva, it's just like he gets mounted and he's like trying to throw punches and talk to you from the bottom. Like, bro, it's not the time to have a conversation. We got to get into the escapes. Okay. 2 hands on the hips, hip bump, hip escape out to the side, clear a knee shield in there, throw the far leg over the top for single leg X, quarter guard, turn your hips, capture a foot, turn your hips the other way, hip escape. Now you're back into the half guard at least, just a classic roll. Bump, hip bump, trap the far arm, trap the far leg, jack the underhook up, bridge on your head. If you're Hicks and Gracie, you open the distance between the head and the shoulder up so it's not as high of a bridge. There are many ways to get out of mount. What does Gene Silva do? He starts like talking to you and like throwing his arms up. What are we doing here, Silva? Is this championship material? I don't think so. All right. Have you had enough of me? Do we need to do a rapid fire for this one? We don't, right? Yes, we do. One more time for my people in the back. I'm going with fraud check as Roofy getting fraud checked by Benoit Saint Denis. I'm going to go with the biggest disappointment as Tommy Aspinall getting his eye gouged by Cyril Gane. I'm going to go with Islam Makhachev as the fighter of the year. Best fight, Adrian Marinetti and Mark Vologdin. If you haven't seen it on Dana White's Contender Series, correct yourself. I'm going to go with the performance being Poatan beating the brakes off of Ankalaev, returning him to the womb, returning him to the fetal position. I'm going to go with the knockout is Roofy's spinning back kick KO over Bobby Green. Of course, there are a lot of KOs. Submission, Walter Walker versus Kennedy and Zetchiku, although, that Scottish twister was insane in PFL. Upset of the year, Rainier DeRitter beating up Bo Nickel. That just sits at the top of the highlights of the year. And then prospect of the year, Tatsuro Taira. I know I'm breaking the rules. I don't care. All right? It's my show. I get to break the rules. I appreciate y'all being here. We'll talk 2026 prospects. We'll talk about 2026 predictions before the first UFC event. You guys will get my predictions for champions in every weight class. We'll go into it next time, but that'll be in the new year. So happy New Year to all you savages. Make sure you get a designated driver. Don't be out here crashing into my Tesla, okay? I don't want to see you crashing into my Tesla, all right? So make sure that you behave yourselves. But have a good time. Turn up for New Year's. I think 2026 is going to be fantastic. It's especially better on our wallets as MMA fans, as UFC fans in particular, right? Let's enjoy it. Until next time, it's peace and love.